freedom, justice, equality, unity, lofty, lofty ideals. These are ideals held, supported, fought for, and defended by virtually every black man and woman, descendant of ex-slaves in North America and throughout the slavery diaspora. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said to us that unity was the key to our success. And we all, as Mr. Muhammad teaches us, want unity. It's going to be pretty hard to find a black man in America who will just outright say, I don't want to unite with another black man. We pretty much universally want unity, but we don't know how we're going to actually achieve it. We have come to a fork in the road. There ain't no crossroad. It's a fork. It's either one way or another. You don't have but two choices. We're faced with the choice, ever more pressing today than it has ever been. And the question is whether you will choose separation or whether you will choose assimilation. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, peace be upon him, was an avid proponent for separation. All throughout his time teaching us here in North America, he taught separation. At no time did he ever teach assimilation or integration. He didn't even teach segregation. He said separate.
Yes, sir.
As a matter of fact, he said it is far, far more important to teach separation than it is to teach prayer.
Yes, sir.
Prayer is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. Very, very important and fundamental to your basis for your belief. But to show you how important it was to him, he said that it's more important, far more important, not just a little bit more important, far more important to teach separation than to teach prayer. And so he fought for separation until the day he died. During the time when we were really planting the seed for a nation to be brought up separate and distinct from America, there arose another voice, another one amid us. And he advocated assimilation through integration. He too felt the love, care, and concern for black people. He believed that he could achieve freedom, justice, and equality for us through the integration process. There is no question that he loved us. I don't think there is an argument as to whether or not Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. loved black people. I think all of us would agree that he did.
Yes, sir.
The Honorable Silas Muhammad he gave us an analogy which I want to try to present today so that we might make a decision about which road we're going to take. I have already made a decision, thus the title of my lecture. But you are, and you have the right to be given an opportunity to make a decision for yourself. Because whatever decision we make is a decision that we're going to have to live with, and it's a decision that's going to affect not only us presently, but for generations and generations to come. So if you are making a decision just based upon how it's going to make you feel, how it's going to enhance your life, how it's going to be important to you, then you are not looking far enough ahead. You are not seeing the full picture. You're not seeing the full scope of what is taking place and the decision-making process that we need to take. We have to choose whether we want to separate or we want to assimilate. There is on the horizon a group of black people. Some of them are even ex-followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Even though he has said, separate, they say, I will refuse to leave America. I'm not going to leave. I've got too much invested in America. And so they say that they're not willing to leave. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad has made every indication that he possibly could that we needed to get out of here and that we were going and destined to get out of here. He said, once we leave here, and you can go and read it for yourself. He said, we're going to go to Egypt, and we're going to study in Egypt for about 20 years. Does that sound like we're going to stay in America? No, it doesn't. So if you are a proponent of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught, then you ought to be looking at separation and not assimilation. We have had great leaders in our past, great leaders. But look at where we are today. Look at where we are. After 50-some odd years of integration, where are we as a people?
Good question.
I'm not talking about you as an individual. That man or that woman who has the big house on the hill, living next to white people that they have assimilated among white people, that they use it as a token for the rest of us to try to make us want to assimilate as well. But us as a people, do we have freedom, justice, and equality?
Good question.
We do not. You see people from Ferguson, Missouri, Baltimore, Maryland, New York City, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Georgia, College Park, all over America. People are demonstrating, marching, protesting, demanding freedom, justice, and equality.
Yes, sir.
In October of this year, Minister Louis Farrakhan is planning to celebrate his 20th anniversary of the Million Man March. And his theme of his march is justice or else. So we still don't have freedom, justice, and equality. Why don't we have it? What did the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say that it would take for us to get it? He says in Message to the Black Man, if you want freedom, justice, and equality. You need to seek it from among yourselves. You are not going to get it from your open enemy. It's not coming.
Yes, sir.
He's not going to give you freedom, justice, and equality. It's not in him to do that.
That's right.
It's not in his mind to ever give us freedom, justice, or equality.
That's right.
In his mind, and you got to think a little bit like he thinks. Here it is, yesterday, you worked for me for nothing.
That's right. Teach.
I kicked your butt, hung you on trees, raped you, robbed you anytime I got ready.
That's right.
And there was nothing that you or nobody else could do about it.
Yes, sir.
And all of a sudden, you're asking me, you are asking, trying to demand from me that I treat you as an equal. How can you honestly, within yourself, think that he's going to ever do it? It's not possible. It would be hard for you to do it.
Sure.
He doesn't have it in him to do.
That's right.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he preached, separate from America and get your own.
That's right.
Get your own. And do for yourself. Now I'm going to quote a statement in the Holy Quran and see if you can hear do for self. The Holy Quran in 13 and 11 says, Allah changes not the condition of a people until they change their own condition.
Yes, sir.
Did you hear do for self?
Yes, sir.
I heard do for self. When you do for yourself, Allah has done for you.
That's right.
When you do it, we have gotten to the point where we have to make this decision. And we're going to have to settle on it. We are going to have to make a decision amongst ourselves, among all of us. We're going to have to come together to make a decision so that we can make a way for our children. We can no longer keep pity-patting around, playing footsies with this issue. Either we are going to do it or we're not.
That's right.
Unity is something that we really don't understand. We've never really had it, but we got to get it. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that it is the key. So if it's the key to our success, it's the thing that will unlock for us what success is. So we have to arrive at that point. Unity is not uniformity. That's not unity. Unity is not you and me always agreeing. Whatever I say you agree with, whatever you say I agree with, that's not unity either. Unity is the thing that we do in spite of all of our differences. Whatever difference we have, we can still get the job done.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Because that's where we got to go.
Yes, sir.
You don't like me. So what?
Right.
Good.
So what?
Yes, sir.
We got to move this 100-pound weight from this spot back to that door. Can we get it done without killing each other? Yeah. We can argue all the way if you need to. If we need to argue about getting to the back door, fine, but let's get it moving.
That's right.
We cannot let it sit here, argue about it, and then talk about that we want unity. Don't do that to me no more.
Yes, sir.
Don't do that to me. If you want to unite, let's do it. Let's get the job done. Stop playing around. We got 460 years of common experience,
Yes, sir.
collective experience among us. We know right from wrong. We know what's good for us and what's not good for us. Not talking about you as an individual. What I like, you may not like. What you like, I may not like. But is it right for us to do as a people? Is it in our best interest to like this thing and work toward this thing? This is where we gotta go. The Honorable Silas Muhammad said, which methodology should we use? What should be the tool that we use to achieve freedom, justice, and equality? Martin Luther King believed that social justice could be achieved through integration. He believed that we could get freedom through integration. Turn the other cheek. He believed that that would work. All of those things he applied. And I watched the pharmacy owned by Mr. Bloom come up, and I see the pharmacy owned by Mr. Jackson go down. I went home last week, and the pharmacy that the black man owned when I was a little boy, watched it grow up, it's no longer there. The cinema that black people own, that we used to go to, is no longer there. The doctor's office that I used to go to across the track is no longer there. What happened to it? Integration is what happened.
Yes, sir.
Integration destroyed the black community.
That's right.
It destroyed the black identity. Integration was to benefit white people. They needed to buy some time. That's what they needed, to buy about 25 years. 25 to 30 years is what they needed to put their next plan in place. Because that's about how long the white man plans to deal with things on a social level, every 25 or 30 years. So when Malcolm X exposed the Nation of Islam to the whole world, they looked and they saw all those black faces talking about a nation, scared them to death.
Yes, sir.
Trust me, they didn't have a clue that there was anything like a Nation of Islam organized by black people.
That's right.
Even our Savior, Silas Muhammad, said when he went to the nation, he started looking to see if he could find the white man behind the Nation of Islam. For he had never seen an organization as like the Nation of Islam. A black man heading it. And white people start shaking in their boots. They needed some time. And so they got them a spokesperson. They got them a spokesperson. They chose Dr. Martin Luther King
That's
as the
right.
speaker for them.
Yes, sir.
Do you know that there were speakers before King went to Montgomery? There were already marches in Montgomery before King got there. Do you know that there was a bus sitting in demonstration before 1955? As a matter of fact, in 1945, they had a bus demonstration by another sister. How did they happen to catch Rosa Parks on the bus sitting like she was sitting?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that was by accident? That she was poised.
Come on, man.
It was a plan.
Yes, it
Yes,
was.
sir.
It was a plan. As they tried to move forward with the integration process, they had a strategy that they were working. They'd have 3 or 4 different racial nationalities of people to go apply for a job to go apply for public housing, to go and apply for a school, go for hospital, go to bus station. All of these were orchestrated with the intent, knowing that if they don't give you access, that they've got a law in place that they just made. They just made it. Wasn't there before.
Yes, sir.
They just made it to apply to this situation. Because you, black, white man in the South, you are going to ruin what we got going on up here. Same thing that happened during the 1860s.
Yes, sir.
The same thing was happening in the 1960s. Black people were trying to get freedom, justice, and equality in 1860s. They were trying to get freedom, justice, and equality in the 1960s.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
They had a Voting Rights Act in 1865. They had a Voting Rights Act in 1965. Why did they have to make another one?
Good question.
Because it didn't achieve. It didn't do what you thought it was going to do. So they needed to buy some more time. So when now does the Voting Rights Act end? 25 years after it's signed. Every 25 years, it has to be signed again, ratified by the Senate. Why? Because we might change our mind.
Right.
That's right.
That's right.
We just might change our mind. And we need to have leeway to change our mind and not sign it. 15, 20 years ago, there was a thing called racial discrimination. And it was the talk of the town. Today it's reverse discrimination.
That's right.
It's the talk of the town. How do these things happen? Because we are asleep at the wheel. We are asleep at the wheel. We, you and I, have to take large responsibility for what has happened to us and put us where we are today. The Honorable Silas Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad are our examples of how to deal with these people.
Yes, sir.
You have to deal with them with the truth.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
You have to deal with them from an intellectual, from a perspective utilizing your superior mind power, not your heart.
Yes, sir.
Teach.
The Honorable Silas Muhammad teaches us that if you're going to arrive at the truth of a thing, the more of your senses that you apply to it, the greater will be your ability to assess the truth. Any one of your senses, or two of your senses maybe even three of your senses can be tricked. But if you apply all five of them to a situation, you won't miss. You'll get to the truth of it. We are quick to talk about I feel, how I feel. I feel that it's right. I feel that you did this. I feel that this happened. Dealing purely from an emotional point of view. Not to say that you can't utilize emotion, and it has its place. But you cannot solely make any judgment on a feeling.
Yes, sir.
My daddy told me he got a feeling one time about, he had got a feeling about Christianity or something. We were talking. And I say, shoot, I get a feeling when I go to the bathroom. How about that? How about that feeling? That's a good feeling. But it ain't got nothing to do with God. It ain't got nothing to do with truth. It ain't got nothing to do with righteousness. Just talking about a feeling don't move me. We have to utilize our mind. We have to use vision. We have to use foresight. We must use the analytical tools that are available to us if we're going to make a good decision. When we decide to make separation our choice, then we need to be talking about doing for ourselves. That means we're not going to be able to depend on the white man anymore. But if you're going to assimilate, you don't have nothing to really think about. You don't really have anything much to do.
Right.
All you got to do is just go out and keep filling out applications, and sooner or later, one of the white men will give you a job. Sooner or later. But if you are talking about separating and doing for self, you're not looking for a job because you got a job, and your job is to create a job for you and for your brothers and sisters.
That's right.
That's your job.
Yes, sir.
Building a nation is your job.
Yes, sir.
And building a nation is a job that takes up 24/7 time.
Yes, sir.
Ask the white man. How much time does he spend? He got a National Guard. He's got a Coast Guard.
Come on.
He's got a Navy,
Yes, sir.
an Army, Marine Corps, Air Force,
Yeah.
and they're all on 24-hour watch. Is
Yes,
that right?
sir.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Are they ever asleep at the wheel? Somebody is on post at all times,
Yes, sir.
because they're dealing with what? A nation. They're not dealing with their individual likes and dislikes. They're not dealing with their own individual problems. They're dealing with the problems and the condition of a people. They have created a lifestyle, and we helped them. We helped them create this lifestyle.
Yes, we did.
And this is the lifestyle that they want to protect. They don't want anything to happen to this lifestyle. The freedom that they have to get up in the middle of the night and go to a store, go to a restaurant, go do whatever they want to do, they want to keep that.
That's right.
They don't want to have to worry about mortar shells and AK-57s and all of those things as they move in and out of their cities. Look at Iraq, war-torn Syria. Look at those places. Torn apart, completely destroyed, many cities, unlivable, no running water, no electricity. They don't want war on this soil. So what do? They take war to the other man's property, tear up his property. They don't wish to have war on this soil. But war is coming
Yes, it
to
is.
this soil.
Yes, it
Yes, sir.
is.
It's coming. It's like, this is like that little mouse. He running around, running from one place to another, trying to get away. Over here there's a lion. Over here there's a muskrat. Over here there's a snake. Over here there's a big owl. All of them want the rat. All of them. He can't get away. America can't get away.
That's right.
Yesterday it was the Taliban. The next day it was Al-Qaeda. Now it's ISIS.
Yes, sir.
Who is going to be tomorrow?
Right.
Good question.
Good question.
There's always going to be somebody
That's right.
that America is going to have to worry about, because she has wronged so many people on the planet,
Yes, sir.
and she has to pay. God would not be a God of justice if they don't pay. They gotta pay.
They gotta pay.
What we don't want to be is caught up in the mix with them.
That's right.
That's what we don't want. We do know that the mother plane is coming to destroy America.
Yes, sir.
We do know that. It's been prophesied. The Elijah Muhammad has taught us about it. But when is it coming?
Good question.
We don't know. But we do know that right around the corner are those persons who want to get America. In 92, it was the Sheikh. He set a bomb off under the tower back in 92. It didn't get a chance to go off. And then in 2001, they flew planes into the towers. That ain't the last of it.
That's right.
That's not the end of it. Do you know that there have been people in this country for almost 100 years waiting to destroy America? Almost 100 years. America can't get away. She cannot get away. What I'm saying to my beloved brothers and sisters is that you and I need to sit down at the table along with our leaders and let us make a decision about what it is we are going to do with each other to help save our people. That's what we got to do. We got to get together. We've got to come to the table. Mr. Muhammad has invited the leaders to the table for at least the last 3-4 years or longer.
That's right.
The invitation is still open. Come to the table. He has been working diligently all along. Say, come on, help me. Help me, help me. He went to the UN. He said, help me. Nobody came to help. He went forward to establish a government. He said, come and help me. Nobody come to help. When it comes time for the payment of reparations, who do you think they're going to give reparations to? We are the only legal entity that can legally use the name Lost Found Nation of Islam. And Lost Found Nation of Islam is what Master W.D. Farad Muhammad called us.
Yes, sir.
That's the full name. The Lost Found Nation of Islam in the wilderness of North America.
Make it plain.
That's what Master Farad Muhammad said.
That's what he
and
said.
that is the name that is incorporated under the CEO of the Lost Foundation of Islam, the Honorable Silas Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
Going to the UN, he found out, and we do today know, that reparations is not paid to individuals.
That's right.
Reparations are paid from one nation to another nation.
That's right.
So who gonna get reparations?
Good question. Yes, sir.
He said, come on, help me. They wouldn't come. So now that the pie is done, the cake is ready to eat, how much do you think
Come on.
they deserve?
Good question. Yes, sir.
When y'all get a chance, I want you to watch periodically how it's made. There's a scientific program. I think it's on either Discovery Channel or Science, one of those channels. And watch how it's made.
Yes, sir.
Because Mr. Muhammad is asking this government to give us machines and equipment that will make some of those things that you see made,
Yes.
on how it's made.
Yes, sir.
And we need to have some technical know-how and skill on how to operate some of this machinery. Some of it I didn't even know existed. I didn't even know they had certain pieces of equipment to do certain things. They pretty much got this thing automated where you can just about take the hands off of most of the work.
Yes, sir.
They got robots that'll start out putting a car together, and maybe about an hour from now, they'll be rolling off the assembly line in about an hour. That's the white boy
Sir.
getting stuff done. Do you think all white people like each other?
Sir.
Do you think they all belong to the same church? Part of the same fraternity, same organizations? That they all like the same food? They're different just like you and I are. But they have learned that cooperation, coming together for a common cause, will enhance the life of us all. When the pioneers were moving east to west, and as they moved, some stopped in one location to build a home, then another one stopped until a community sprang up. But when they got ready to build the home, raise the barn, everybody in the community came to the barn raising or the house raising, and they made a party out of it. We like to party, don't we? Yeah, we do. So if we gonna party and we like to party, let's get something done while we partying.
Yes, sir.
We shouldn't just be partying just to be partying when we got so much that needs to get done.
That's right.
So turn the workload, do the chores, and let's have a party. One day we could just have a big old mosque cleaning party. Just come in, everybody come in, bring your music, bring your food, bring your drinks. Come on in and let's just get to work in the mosque. If you don't like what the way the mosque is, then let's change it.
Yes, sir.
If you don't like it, let's change it. It ain't gonna get done by you just complaining about it.
That's right.
It ain't gonna happen like that. We're gonna have to change it. That goes for anything and everything else that we come in contact with. It's not gonna change on its own. You can walk past it out every day if you want to. It'll just be just like that until somebody changes it. That's how it happens. We have to make our own changes. We have to make a decision about what's good for us and what's not good for us. We can't let the white man no longer determine what's good for us. White people sell death. They sell death and have no problem with it.
Yes, sir.
My wife went to get some chewing gum the other day, and every brand has aspartame in it.
Yes, sir.
Every single brand
Yes,
of gum
sir.
on the shelf has aspartame.
Yes, sir.
What did the Surgeon General say about aspartame? He said it causes, not may, causes cancer. Aspartame.
That's right.
Cigarettes contain formaldehyde.
Yes, sir.
Formaldehyde is an embalming fluid.
Yes, sir.
Every time you take a toke, you inhale formaldehyde,
Yes, sir.
causing your certain portions of the lungs to die, to be embalmed. They sell death.
Yes, sir.
Pork is 1,000% poison. They know this.
Yes, they do.
For years they've known that it causes high blood pressure,
Yes.
arthritis, rheumatism, bronchitis, asthma, emphysema, all of these different diseases that are associated with eating pork. Yet the pork producers association keeps pushing the other white meat. Death,
Yes, sir.
chickens, breast this big, wing this big. Something is wrong.
Yes, sir.
Automatic, you know, this ain't right. What did you do? Whatever he did, it wasn't natural.
That's right.
And if it wasn't natural, it means it was chemically induced.
Yes, sir.
And if it's chemically induced, it's death.
Yes, it is.
Nothing that the white man has touched is pure.
That's right.
If he put his hands on it, it's no longer pure.
That's right.
He tampered with it. Everything.
Yes, sir.
He made sure that he put his mark on everything he touched.
That's right.
So no longer can you call this yours. It's not yours anymore. It's his. Because he put his mark on it. Even us.
Yes, he
Sir.
did.
He put his mark on us.
Yes, he did.
And until we come up out of him, his mark stays on us. So it's important that we do for self. When we say do for self, I don't want you to get trapped just into the idea that we're going to do business alone. That's not all of it. That's a great part of it, that we're going to produce for ourselves. We're going to do that, all of those things. But one of the most important things that we're going to do for self is we're going to govern self.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're going to govern ourselves. That means we need lawmen and lawwomen, just like Wide Earp. You stole a strong box off of the stagecoach. Wide Earp and his other gang of lawmen go all the way to Mexico to get you. And there wasn't nothing in the strong box but rocks. It wasn't the fact that you stole any money. It's that you broke the law. And they brought the people back to trial for the purpose of obtaining their brand of justice. That's where we have to go. If you are feeling whatever it is that you're feeling, and you don't feel like, and you can apply your feelings here, you don't feel like you've been done right, then you need to put that on paper
Yes.
first,
Yes.
so you can write it down real clear as to what you feel has been done to you. And then you want to take that piece of paper and take it to the person that you feel has wronged you. Don't take it to this sister over here. She didn't do nothing to you, and she really don't need to hear your problems. She got her own problems to deal with. The law says, our law says that you're supposed to take the complaint to the person. If you're skating that, you are not doing yourself justice. You say you want justice, but you won't do justice. We got to do justice, not just want it. You got to do it. And I don't care who it is. I don't care if he's a supreme captain, a supreme minister, a supreme secretary. You got to stop people from mistreating you,
Yes, sir.
blaming it on Silas Muhammad.
Come on. Right.
Stop doing that to him.
That's right.
He's not the problem. He has given us the solution to the problem, and we won't use it. Every person in here is entitled to freedom, justice, and equality.
Yes, sir.
Everyone, I don't care what position you hold. Even Mustafa, he's not an adult yet, but he's entitled to freedom, justice, and
That's
equality.
right. That's right. Yes, sir.
You got to realize that the power is in your hand. You are Allah. When are you going to get that? that it's really you, the collective you. The collective you can come against any officer in a court of law. We got it set up already.
Yes, sir.
To show and prove that no one is above the law.
That's right.
To show and prove it. Our Savior allowed himself to be sued in our court. That has never happened in the history of man, that a monarch has been hauled into court. Never happened in the history of man. So what does that say about that man? That man is above every other man that has ever been a monarch.
Yes, sir.
He is a supreme being. He's a superior being.
Yes, sir.
If you don't want to say supreme, say superior. He certainly is a superior being to most of the men that you have ever known in your life.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Silas Muhammad. He is our living example. He's living with us now. After a while, all you're going to have are his words. That's what you'll have left,
Yes, sir.
his words.
Yes, sir.
What we are working toward now as we move forward is to deal with situations that present problems so that we can deal with them while the Savior and the Queen are yet alive. Don't be afraid. Don't. It's just another two-legged human being. Just another two-legged
Yes,
human
sir.
being. Challenge the wrong. If the wrong is allowed to persist, however minute it might be, it will feed off of whatever it can feed off of and grow. Whatever the wrong is, it will feed. And it will continue to grow and grow and grow and grow. And one day, it'll be a big old monster. It'll be the elephant in the room. The Savior says, speak the truth without error. Practice right conduct without spot or blemish. Are we there yet?
No, sir.
It's there for us to subscribe to, ascend to constantly reach for, to constantly grow toward, to develop, to become better and better. Each generation thereafter becomes better and better and better. That's what we're working toward, is to develop, to become the best people that we can be. We are to be an example people for the whole world to see. That's what we're supposed to be. So we have to start exercising. Exercising, do for self.
Yes, sir.
Do for self in every aspect of our lives. In governing especially, because the white man is not going to come here and help us to govern ourselves. He'll govern us, but he's not going to help us to govern ourselves. He's not going to do that. Because that's what he wants to do.
Yes, sir.
He wants to say when, yea, nay. That's what he wants to do. The idea of a nation was born on the shoulders of Master Farad Muhammad. He brought a nation upon his shoulder. Inside of that idea was the need for a government. You got a nation, but now you need a government. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad himself says that we need a divine government. But he didn't say that he was going to bring it in. He said it was going to come, and it would come after him, because they kept asking him, how will it happen after you're gone? Well, how are your resources, how are they going to be dispersed and disseminated? What's going to happen after you're gone? So he's telling the people that a government is going to be set up, a divine government, and it won't be ran and operated locally like it's been done now. Local mosques will not be in existence dealing with national issues. Do we have national officers? Do we have national bodies to deal with national issues? Yeah. Each mosque is separate and distinct, yes, true enough. But we also have a government that oversees government of all of us. That's what we're setting up. A divine order. So government is the tool that is being utilized to bring about the unity that we all say we want. Government. Not the kind of unity maybe that you had hoped it would be, or you thought it was going to be, but it's the kind that you need. It's what God prescribed. I don't care what the white man set up, but Master Farad Muhammad set up a design for us, government, as the tool that we're going to use to bring about freedom, justice, equality, and unity for ourselves, because we're going to govern ourselves. We're going to give each other justice. I hope so. You know?
Yes, sir.
I pray Allah will grant each of you a light of understanding as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom all praise is due forever, we give thanks to him for coming to America to find us. We will forever give thanks to him for raising up in our midst our beloved leader, teacher, and guide, our spiritual mother Mary, Moses, John the Baptist of the book, in the person of the most honorable and humble Elijah Muhammad. Peace be upon him. We thank Master Farad Muhammad for having impregnated him with the seed of truth, so as to give birth to us all, and from among us is born the spiritual son and servant of Master Farad Muhammad, the spiritual son, the Honorable Silas Muhammad. It is in their names that I greet you in the greeting words of peace in the Arabic language. Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of our Queen, her illustrious, Your Majesty, hardest working woman in the Nation of Islam,
Yes, sir.
Queen Meshaki Muhammad, I greet you in her behalf. Assalamu alaikum. Freedom, justice, equality, unity, lofty ideals. These are ideals held, supported, fought for, and defended by virtually every black man and woman, descendant of ex-slaves in North America and throughout the slavery diaspora. Time when we were really planting the seed for a nation to be brought up separate and distinct from America, there arose another voice, another one amid us. And he advocated assimilation through integration. He too felt the love, care, and concern for black people. He believed that he could achieve freedom, justice, and equality for us through the integration process. changes not the condition of a people until they change their own condition.
Yes, sir.
Did you hear do for self?
Yes, sir.
I heard do for self. When you do for yourself, Allah has done for you.
That's right.
Man plans to deal with things on a social level every 25 or 30 years. So when Malcolm X exposed the Nation of Islam to the whole world, they looked and they saw all those black faces
Yes, sir.
talking about a nation, scared them to death.
Yes, sir.
Trust me, they didn't have a clue that there was anything like a Nation of Islam organized by black people.
That's right.
Even our Savior, Silas Muhammad, say when he went to the nation, he started looking to see if he could find the white man behind the Nation of Islam. For he had never seen an organization as like the Nation of Islam. Don't move me. We have to utilize our mind. We have to use vision. We have to use foresight. We must use the analytical tools that are available to us if we're going to make a good decision. When we decide to make separation our choice, then we need to be talking about doing for ourselves. That means we're not going to be able to depend on the white man anymore. But if you're going to assimilate, you don't have nothing to really think about. You don't really have anything much to do.
Right.
All you got to do is just go out and keep filling out applications, and sooner or later, one of the white men will give you a job. So government is the tool that is being utilized to bring about the unity that we all say we want. Government. Not the kind of unity maybe that you had hoped it would be, or you thought it was going to be, but it's the kind that you need. It's what God prescribed. I don't care what the white man set up, but Master Farad Muhammad set up a design for us, government, as the tool that we're going to use to bring about freedom, justice, equality, and unity for ourselves, because we're going to govern ourselves. We're going to give each other justice. I hope so.
Yes, sir.
I pray Allah will grant each of you the light of understanding as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.